Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are now in Tuliyollal, in the city of Tuliyollal to be exact. Pretty much at the beginning of Dawn Trail, and Wuk Lamat, he wanted to show me and Krile the city. I'm fine now, really. Can't sit down all day feeling sorry for myself, what with the contest looming and all. Now then, seeing that you're already here, might as well tell you about the harbor. Erenville already mentioned the reefs in our coastal waters, which explains why you don't see any big ships moored at the docks. Only vessels with shallow drafts can navigate the bay, mostly small fishing boats and barges ferrying cargo up and down the river from inland settlements. Much of the incoming traffic is from Krile, the southern landmass. The clans that produce various goods for export. Their wares are unloaded here and carted off to the merchant stalls in the neighboring markets. Speaking of which, Bayside Bevy should be our next stop. Wuk Lamat and Krile are now accompanying you. Yes, a new tutorial for how accompanying works. Tuliyollal is like my own garden. I could lead you around with my eyes closed. If it's too about a ship, it will be plain sailing all the way. Whoa, a trip alone is enough to curdle my stomach. Wandering around the city is so exciting. Unfamiliar wonders everywhere we look. This is Bayside Bevy, Tuliyollal's largest marketplace. Being right on the harbor, everything from fresh fish to imported wares go directly to the shelves. Anything you want, they most likely have it. Alright, I should mention that here in Tuliyollal we buy things with Pel, a currency that the Pelu created. But don't worry, more and more trade is coming in from Eorzea, so most shops are happy to accept your gil. There's also Wachumiki, another marketplace to the east of here, but that can wait for another time. I have other places I want to show you first. Next we head back a bit, northward up the stairs to a certain plaza. Can't wait to see the look on your faces. Moment. It's reassuring to know we can use our guild for shopping here. As long as we remember it wasn't invented by the Pelu, you never forget what our currency is called. What do you think of that, huh? Goodness me, you have Aphorites in Tuliyollal? I think I told you before that my brother, Quana, spent 3 years studying in Sharlayan. He fell in love with the nation and its ways, and brought back to us the knowledge of Aphorite construction. Papa warmed to the idea at once and had one built immediately. Did you do the tuning thing? If you're ready to continue, we'll head down again and then up the slope to the side. Right at the top is the gate which leads to Krile. Let's make a stop at Bright Plume Post on the way though. That's the headquarters of the Lance Guard. Thank goodness for Aphorites, though I don't share Wuk Lamat's dislike for ships. I'm not especially eager to make that voyage again. Make sure you tune to the Aphorite. I don't fully understand how it works, but I do know you regret it if you forget. Trudging up and down all these slopes and stairs is exhausting. I understand now where Wuk Lamat gets her endless endurance. We have a lot of narrow winding streets that crawl up the sides of a mountain. As you can see, all the builders made sure the city's main thoroughfares were wide enough to accommodate wagons. Here we are, Bright Plume Post. The soldiers stationed here are responsible for defending Tuliyollal and preserving the peace. The Landsguard are led by our nation's strongest warrior, and so naturally Papa has commanded them since the beginning. At least under 3 years ago, when Soval Jah took over as commander. The title is no empty honor. It means the first promise is considered equal to the Dawn Servant in martial strength. Meanwhile, I haven't even managed to... Well, I'll discuss my brothers and their accomplishment later. Alphinaud and Alisaie should be around to hear it too. Come on, it's time to show you to Skygate. It's right at the northeast end of Talon March. Massive, isn't it? On the other side is an equally massive bridge to match. Both are constructed by a race of giants, the Yokhui. Strictly speaking, Tural is actually two separate continents. Yok-Tural, the southern lands of a mother, and Jak-Tural, the northern lands of a father, which lie beyond the bridge. Legends say it used to be one great landmass, but long, long ago, the two gods fought a titanic battle, and when one threw the other to the ground, the impact was so devastating as to split the continent in twain. A familiar sounding tale. I'm put in mind of a conflict between Heidel and Zodiac. But getting back to Jak-Tural, those lands are also part of the Tuliyollal nation, correct? That's right. Is my father incredible? United the people of two continents into a single nation. The many clans of Tural have been at war for generations. It was only when Papa traveled the lands and put a stop to their myriad conflicts that he finally had peace. And that's the main reason I want to win the throne. So I can preserve the peace he built. But I see you're more interested in what lies beyond the gate than hearing about my aspirations. Crossing the bridge to Jak-Tural requires a special travel pass. Unfortunately, they won't issue any new permits until the rite of succession is over. I promise to get you one when I'm Dawn Servant, but until then, you'll just have to wait. I hold you to that. I've never broken my word. Once the throne is mine, the travel permit is yours. Tired from all that walking, take a moment to rest and we'll continue the tour. We must have covered half the city by now. Tuliyollal is unlike any other place I visited. I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. Creation stories are often rooted in true events. Given the similarities, could it be that Tural's legend was inspired by Heidelin's Clash of Zodiac? We head west next, toward the Arc of the Dawn. The dirigible landing is on the way. You have dirigibles too? Tuliyollal certainly doesn't want for methods of travel. And we get by. Now, if you've seen enough of this area, let me know and we'll continue on. The Arc of the Dawn is on the other side of the city, so speak up if you see something that interests you as we walk. Can't have you teleport quite yet. I'm still struggling to conceive how one could construct an entire city on the side of a mountain. This was originally the site of a Yogg-Sothoth temple. The giants built it when they were first making the bridge to Krile, to appease the god who slumbered in the great ocean trench. After the Yogg-Sothoth withdrew, the temple stood empty for centuries. So when Papa was establishing his new nation, he saw a structure he could refurbish into a palace, sitting practically at the center of Krile. He gave it artisans to do the work, and the houses they built for themselves became a foundation of the city you see today. Speaking of houses, we'll be passing through the resplendent quarter, the biggest residential district in Tuliyollal. We climb these sets of stairs here, all the way up. Want to get there. Nope, can't get there, okay. Palace. Papa's palace is called Volok Shunsa, which roughly translates to invincible resilience. You probably want to take a closer look, but we'll be coming back here later. Let's move on for now. The sheer scale of this place is incredible. Wonder what that carving at the top represents. Let me quickly get the air for right. So this was once a place of worship. The Yogg-Sothoth seemed fascinating people. I have not seen any in the city. I wonder when we'll get the chance to meet them. The stairs leading up to the peak can get pretty steep. Careful you don't fall. I've been one step away from death more than a few times. So this is a splendid quarter. What kind of people live here? Oh, we have residents from all the Yogg-Tural clans. Mamurja, Jabal, Pelupelu, Moblins, Hanu. You also have Tonawata, Yatsaro, and Chitona, who moved south from their ancestral lands in Yogg-Tural. In essence, it's a gathering of people from every corner of Tural. A true representation of Tuliyollal's diverse character. The adornment on each building contribute to the eclectic cultural aesthetic. It's also beautiful. I'm glad you think so. Come, we continue down the stairs. I've never seen such an enormous drum. Where? This thing is this a drum? What would one even use to beat such an instrument? That big drum bear is called the Dawn Herald. They play it for formal occasions, like when honoring the Lance Guards return from a dangerous duty. I tried hitting with my axe once and ripped the skin. A mere proper scolding, let me tell you. I think it was the time Papa held me upside down by the ankle. You might hear the hero in Tural referred to as Tonawata, one of our major clans. As for Erenville, he belongs to a Vieira clan known as Shetona. One need only look to the children playing it for a sense of how peaceful things must be here. And here are dirigibles. Not bad, huh? I hear other nations use airship to sail the skies, but you only find balloons in Tuliyollal. We have them for the exact same reason as the Aetherites. Quana brought back the plans from Sharlayan, and Papa thought them fantastic and commissioned their construction. This was around 3 years ago. Since that time we've added flight to other settlements. Trade with frontier communities has never been easier. But that's enough about dirigibles. The Ark of Dawn awaits. Hearing about the dirigibles reminds me of the XIV and the flying vessels. But whereas their design used several bladders, it seems Turali craft rely on one large envelope to lift them into the air. Balloons are all well and good, but flying through the air is not for me. It's not that I'm afraid, of course, it just seems unnatural. I don't know, it might be bullshit for me, you know? Wouldn't be the first time she tried to hide a weakness? Or something she perceives as one? Nope. Welcome. If it's an alpaca you need, then look no further. And we can await alpacas. as a taxi service here. This is it, the Ark of Dawn. When the Giants were still here, it was known as the Wuk Land Gate, but when Papa founded Tuliyollal, everyone began using its present name in honor of his great achievement. Through this gate is Yuka, the wetlands south of the city. Depending on what the right of succession asks us, we might end up going in that direction. Yuka, the name alone is intriguing. Speaking of which, were those fluffy animals we passed earlier? Ah, those are alpacas. Fearsome, four-legged fiends. Fearsome? They seem quite placid to me. You'll learn soon enough, Krile. You'll learn soon enough. So, like goats? Maybe? But forget the alpacas. I have something far more important to show you. Come along! No idea. Let's see. Are these pillars what Wuk Lamat wanted to show us? If you wish to learn the history of Tuliyollal, then look no further. These stone pillars, you mean? This spot captures Krile's attention. What is special about these pillars, if I may ask? At a glance, it might look like ordinary stone decorations, but if you take a really good look, you'll see there's something more interesting. I suppose we ought to do as Wuk Lamat suggests. This spot captured Krile's attention. The following event cannot be skipped. You may wish to cancel any pending duty finder registrations. Pictures? Wait, no. These are glyphs. They seem to tell a series of stories, many of them featuring a two-headed Mamulja. This must be... That's right, it follows the exploits of my father, Bulul Jaja, his journey to unite our lands. We call it the Tuliyollal saga. The deeds he performed, the bonds he forged, all immortalized in stone. There's no better way to learn how Tuliyollal came to be. Study them as long as you like. And now we can just click what we want. Which for situations like this makes a lot more sense than the blow dart minigame they invented in Stormblood. But okay. The four stones closest to us cover the first half of Papa's travels. Let's start with those. Lay of a Brotherhood. The pillars tell the Lay of a Brotherhood. It depicts a scene where Papa granted an audience to a foreign explorer something? I can never remember the name. You mean Kettenram? Ah, that's the one. Kettenram's arrival in Tural is what prompted Papa to embark on his own journey. It's said that two grew to be close friends, brothers in spirit if not in blood. But no one knows what became of the explorer in later years. Kettenram's disappearance is a mystery in Eorzea as well. The records say he traveled between our lands and yours for a while, but then it's assumed he was lost at sea. Here we have a lay of the reeds. This is a story of when Papa visited the Hanu in their village in Kozamayuka. Other people Alphinaud almost mistook for Vanu, if not for the colorful plumage. He spent a fair bit of time among the Vanu in the Sea of Clouds, so it's no surprise he took an interest in your countrymen. I don't know how it's with your Vanu, but our Hanu are a bright and colorful sort. They hold their one festival every year, very famous and a lot of fun. This one recounts the lay of repast. As you can probably tell, the figure depicted here is of the Jabral like me. For decades, the Jabral and the Mamulja were at war for control of the forest of Yaktel. The actions Papa took to end that conflict have since been hailed as the first steps in the founding of Tuliyollal. There's a clan of Rovka and Bozja known as the Helions. In their society, the women rule as queens, the men serve as devoted subjects. Yet here in Tural, Jabral men and women appear to be of equal status. How dramatically culture can vary with location. Let's see, this one is the Lay of Pots, which depicts the moblins of Kozamayuka. They might wear odd masks and sound weirdly muffled when they talk, but the gold and silver work they sell is the best you'll find anywhere. Moblin goods are the standard when it comes to gift giving. Clearly Vanu aren't the only people with distant Turali counterparts. If you're done with the first half, we can move on to the second. And these will comprise the rest of the saga. The Lay of Gold. This pillar shows one of the Pelu whose homeland is in Urkopacha. Having created our currency, the Pelu are rightfully known as a merchant clan. They oversee Tuliyollal's markets, and their traveling peddlers are a common sight no matter where you go in Tural. Don't let their size fool you. They might be mistaken as children, but beneath those beaked masks, they are clever and calculated traders. This one is my favorite, the Lay of Ice. It depicts a battle with the legendary Tural Vidral Valigamanda. I should explain. A Tural Vidral is a creature that has lived far beyond its usual lifespan and awakened to preternatural powers. Tataru described the Far Eastern auspices in a similar fashion. Could this be the same phenomenon? Valigamanda itself was dubbed the Sky Ruin, a name earned for the destruction and terror it visited upon Tural every time it stirred from its slumber. But 80 years or so ago, its ruinous reign was brought to an end. After a great struggle, Papa and his comrades managed to overcome the raging Vidral and sealed it away in the Urkopacha mountains. Despite its reputation, however, Valigamanda is also a symbol of power. That's why you see its likeness in Tuliyollal's national emblem, adorning the banners of its palace. Ah, the Lay of Proof. The big fellow is the Yok-Hyo, the largest of Tural's people. These giants once used their great size and strength to establish a dominion encompassing all of Yok-Tural. Having brought the southern reaches to heel, they then turned northward, setting their sight on Jacques Tural. You recall that massive bridge they built beyond the Skygate? Sometime after launching the Northern Campaign, however, they just gave up. They abandoned the lands they'd conquered and withdrew into the mountains of Urkopaka. I've never even seen any of their kind so much as set foot in the city. This was a people with the power and resourcefulness to raise a temple on a mountaintop and build a bridge across the sea with stone. What would move them to renounce their ambition and their place in Turali history? Oh, this one is unmarked. Papa says he left a blank pillar for the next chapter of Tuliyollal's history, whatever that might be. Had your fill of history then? Yes, thank you. Glad to hear it. You know, I feel awfully hungry all of a sudden. No surprise there, seeing I couldn't keep anything down for a while. But now I think I'm ready to eat again. So let's go and have ourselves a bite of a local delicacy. Come, I'll take you to the best restaurant in the city. I like the sound of that. What a lovely establishment. I'm reminded of a Bismarck in Limsa-Lominsa. Have you ever had tacos? They're a Tuliyollal classic. You bake a crunchy shell made from corn flour and filled with meat and salad. A lot of shops and stalls sell them, but I like how they're made here in Jabaljaf's tier best. And I need one right in front of me right now. Let's head downstairs and place an order with Old Brooks Evu. Every dish looks so delicious. At the risk of sounding like Wuk Lamat, the mere sight of so much fine cuisine is making me ravenous. This is Brook Evo, the owner. Don't let his unassuming appearance fool you. When it comes to making tacos, he's the greatest artisan in all of Dural.
Brook Evo! My companions must sample your heavenly tacos. One for each of us, please.
Right away, promise. And I'll pack them tight with my choicest feelings. Only the best for you and your friends.
Did you hear the silver scales are back? Seems their overseas foray ended in disaster. More than half their warband is missing, including their leader.
No, I'm not entirely sure, but wasn't the Silver Scales the Mamuja who you fought in the Wanderer's Palace Heart? Wasn't that the Silver Scales? Who tried to enslave the Thornberries?
now keen to rebuild their broken reputations. The survivors seek the Golden City. A fool's errand. How many hopefuls have disappeared in search of that fable? They should count their lucky stars they came home alive at all.
The legend of the Golden City is well known here, I take it.
It is, but as no one's ever seen it, many question if there is any truth to the tale. Like our skeptical Erenville.
I can't imagine the Dawn Servant would request a formal survey for a place that doesn't exist.
Now to find a spot with a pleasant view to enjoy our crunchy spoils. Oh! Oh!
If it isn't the third promise.
Oh! No.
I don't know these ones. New salt. Dredge from foreign waters is my guess, brother. Of course, that's it. Wuk Lamat is so afraid of the coming contest that she went crying for special help.
Was there something you wanted, Bakul Jaja?
The third promise remembers us! Such an honor. Glory on your name, brother. And on yours, brother.
I know my rivals for the throne. Nothing more.
Another child of the Dawn Servant?
No, this brute.
We have no ties to their farce of a family. Unlike the sneevling house cat, we are blessed siblings, the elevated chosen. We alone are fit to succeed Golul Jaja as Dawn Servant.
All peoples are equal in Tuliyollal. Your heritage gives you no greater claim to the throne.
Ha! Shall we test that idea here and now? See if your strength is equal to ours.
Just tornado kick them.
None of this has any bearing on the right of succession, correct? Best not waste your energies on pointless scuffles.
The kitten comes to the house cat's defense. Pathetic. Since when was our nation overrun by mewling weaklings?
Listen to me, you.
A two-headed mamulja. I knew of them, but that's the first I've seen in the flesh.
Some get it into their twin heads that they're destined to follow in my father's footsteps. So they travel to distant lands to hone their battlecraft. Those are likely the ones you've heard about.
Are there other two-headed claimants?
No, just Bakul Jaja. Even in Tural, his kind are far from common. The Mamulja people largely belong to one of three clans. The Hubigo, the Bunewa, and the Dopro. Every once in a great while, a two-headed offspring is born from a union between the brown-scaled Hubigo and the blue-scaled Bunewa. The child grows to possess immense strength, both physical and magical.
Blessed siblings indeed.
Forget them. Let's go and buy more tacos. I can think of nothing better to rid me of this bad taste in my mouth.
Enjoying your tour of the city, I trust. We've seen our share of notable sights and took a moment to rest. As such, we're ready to present ourselves at the palace for the rite of succession. Shall we meet you there?
The palace it is. I'll let Wuk Lamat know. Destiny calls. Perhaps we can return for more tacos later?
So it goes.
Oh, Tacos for us. So, that was one of the other claimants. Brookhaven's lovingly made tacos went to waste, and it's all that brutish Baku Jaja's fault. I was looking forward to trying some authentic Tuliyollal cuisine, but we should hurry and join Alphinaud and the others at the palace. Alright, it's a bit of a climb to the top, but you can head up from this planet's quarter, or even the eastern side of Talon March if you prefer. Now that you have an idea of how the city is laid out, I'll let you find your own way to Volokshunsa. Oh, my poor empty belly. But I already got the F right. The food is amazing. Passing Mamuja let us try a fruit called Cherry Moya, and it was just sublime. We saw a two-headed Mamuja on our way here, never claiming a right of succession according to Erenville. There's so many narrow and winding streets, but even if you get lost, all you have to do is keep heading up, and you arrive at the palace eventually. Do you have a better feel for the city now? You made it, good. Then we're all here. I'm still hungry enough to eat a whole roasted colibri, but the contest won't wait for us forever. I could ask Namika to cook me something afterwards. Upon speaking to Erenville, several cutscenes will play in sequence, bring sufficient time.